The hallway was silent, except for the muffled thud of boots against the polished floor. Every step felt heavier than the last. Her heart pounded not from fear, but from anticipation. The guards ahead had orders, a full-body search, and she was supposed to be just another visitor. She kept her composure, smiling politely, yet inside, a storm of calculations raged. Every fiber of her being screamed caution. Every instinct screamed awareness. She had spent years mastering the art of invisibility in plain sight, but even she couldn't ignore the prickling tension in the air. One misstep, one hesitation, and decades of discipline could unravel in seconds. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. The guards were methodical, almost ritualistic in their inspection, unaware that the person they were scrutinizing was no ordinary visitor. Beneath the tailored blazer and subdued civilian attire, she carried the silent power of a Navy SEAL Admiral. Years of missions, unspoken victories, and scars no one ever saw were cloaked beneath her calm exterior. She could have ended the encounter in seconds. Yet here she was, letting them believe she was powerless, letting them underestimate her. Her eyes flicked toward the nearest camera, then to the other guard's restless hands. Every micro-movement was catalogued, every hesitation noted. She felt the weight of moral tension pressing down. Should she reveal herself? Should she intimidate? Or should she let them complete the charade, testing her patience, waiting for the perfect moment to assert control? The air shifted. Dust particles floated in the shafts of sunlight spilling through the high windows. She noticed the subtle twitch in the younger guard's jaw. The shallow breath of the one who had been on edge the moment she walked in. Time stretched. Each second, a small eternity. She remembered her first missions, the adrenaline, the moral quandaries, the feeling that life could hinge on the smallest decision. She stepped closer. The guards flinched instinctively, a subtle acknowledgement that something about her demeanor demanded respect, not fear. Exactly something far subtler, more potent. Authority earned, silently, over decades. And in that moment, she realized she had the power not just to command the situation, but to reshape the way they saw the world. Her voice was soft, almost hesitant. "I know why you're nervous," she said. "I would be too, in your place." The words were unthreatening, yet they carried the weight of someone who had stared down danger that most could not even imagine. Murmurs rippled down the hallway as other staff caught fragments of the conversation, sensing that this was no ordinary encounter. The younger guard shifted, clearly conflicted, his hands trembling as he reached for the clipboards and scanners. The older one maintained a stoic mask, but his eyes betrayed him. She noticed everything: the subtle tightening of his fingers, the shallow inhale, the almost imperceptible step back. She let it happen, letting the tension stretch, savoring the orchestration. And then, just when it seemed the search might reveal her hidden identity, she smiled, and the mask fell away not in aggression, but in revelation. "I am who you think I am," she said, calm yet undeniable. The hallway froze. Silence swallowed the air. Shock rippled through the guards. Murmurs became whispers. Staff froze mid-step, unsure whether to flee or honor the moment. The revelation wasn't just about rank or power. It was about every time she had hidden herself to protect others, every mission where she had chosen restraint over force. Here, in this sterile corridor, that restraint had waited, had gravity. Then came the pause. The moral tension hung heavy. How do ordinary people respond when faced with true authority and capability, unmasked and unthreatening? The younger guard looked at her, his fear slowly giving way to awe. The older one straightened, understanding dawning in his eyes. And in that instant, she offered a choice: humility, respect, and a reminder that courage sometimes comes in the guise of ordinary appearances. Her hand brushed the badge under her blazer, a subtle gesture of reassurance rather than dominance. She could have commanded obedience, but instead she extended understanding. The guards exhaled collectively, the tension breaking like a snapped cord. Murmurs turned into quiet applause, a ripple of acknowledgement passing through the room. The hallway seemed warmer now, the light softer, the air lighter. She walked past, her stride confident but unhurried, leaving behind a lesson in power, perception, and humanity. Every person she passed felt the unspoken truth: appearances deceive, and true authority is measured not by intimidation but by the calm, resolute courage that remains when everyone else is uncertain, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. She glanced once at the sunlit corridor behind her, reflecting on the silent tension, the inner battles fought by everyone in that room. In the stillness, she smiled quietly to herself, knowing that the day had been won not with weapons or force, but with patience, wisdom, and the subtle demonstration of quiet strength. If you've ever underestimated someone, or been underestimated yourself, you know exactly what that hallway felt like. Sometimes the most extraordinary courage hides in plain sight, and the world notices only when it chooses to. Thank you for listening to this story on Whispered Words. If this inspired you, leave a comment below about the moment someone surprised you with their strength and Dan. Forget to subscribe to join our community of stories where courage, wisdom, and humanity collide.